Hey everyone, and welcome to another movie about Bitcoin news. The Bitcoin chart shows that nothing has changed overnight. The fact that Bitcoin is still above 43 is still a problem. It's not a surprise, since the break above that level meant it should go a little further. It's possible to get between 50,000 and 70,000 into that area. In yesterday's video, I talked about that. Please watch the video from yesterday. I went over the daily chart in depth and explained it to you. But yeah, this is pretty much the whole picture. Here's a quick review. Either we're in the white count or the yellow count for the white wave. It's likely that we won't see any big drops until we reach a new all-time high. Anyway, even then, they might only be wave 4s, and we can definitely push the yellow wave count up to 50k to 65k. Above 65,000, the white wave count will become much more likely. Our all-time high could be reached with the white wave count, which could even reach $100,000. We aren't sure which one it is right now. We're following both of them. Both of them are pretty much mirror counts. They move with each other. It's just different. It's pretty much the same neighborhood. Only that the yellow wave count will likely end after one more high, which means that we might see a small pullback here at some point. We'll look at that in a moment, and then we'll have one more high. And to be honest, that might have been it. That might be it. It's still too early to tell if it's yellow or white, though. That being said, we should be able to tell for sure if it's a yellow or white wave after one more high formed after this short-lived pullback. That will become clear in the next step back. So, after this short one, let's make one more high to round out the range, which would be around 50,000 to 65,000 if there was a pullback. If it holds a higher low, that would be the support I would give you for a wave. The white wave count can then go on, and the yellow wave will become much less possible, but these are the two main situations we're dealing with. The yellow wave count will only make this picture less clear. Okay, I mean, in the market there are no sure things anyway. Right now, every possible outcome is positive, even the yellow wave count, but the yellow wave count can look a lot of different ways. It's possible that the yellow wave count could turn into a bearish scenario in the future, which is why bulls should choose the white wave count. So, going forwards, we will, of course, keep a close eye on the appropriate support levels as they come up. And let's say 34K is the next big support we have. $340. That's the level of the 50 correction. I don't have much else to lean on. We can look at tiny support levels on the shorter time frames. But this is the most important support box for a slowdown that could happen here in this fourth wave. Yeah, it doesn't have to get to $39,300. This is just help. It's only help. Yeah, a lot of people don't get this. It's support if I show you where to go for a slowdown. Yeah. What I'm not saying is that the price will drop to 34,000. Pullbacks can be short. They can be good places to make a pullback trade if they are deep. But you can't know ahead of time what the exact goal for a pullback is. They should be thought of more as support zones or just pullback zones. And you can't really figure out where to make a fix until you have wave A and wave B in place. After that, you can figure out what the goal for wave C is. Had some questions sent to them. As soon as possible, please pull back. That's not possible to say. What I've been doing for you over the last few weeks is keeping an eye on micro support levels. A lot of them did hold. When we got to those zones, we pulled back. I took them off the short-term chart, but this was the only place where we had an entry point support zone. Yeah, a couple, in fact. In other words, we've only just had possible starting points. I mean, I don't know if you use our boxes to send things in or not. I do it too, if you know it's the right thing to do. A lot of other people do it too. Those boxes, on the other hand, can give you entries because they show you the limits and can even stop you. Our charts always find their own way, but I can't tell you when to enter because that's up to you. I can tell you, though, where I think the price is changing because of the research. Not where I think it should happen, but where the research says it should. There were also a lot of pullbacks here, though they were short. Support zones have been set up. Okay, that's why I've been sharing support zones pretty much every day. Okay, you already know that there are pullbacks. They're just not deep. This place is meant to work for people with different schedules. Okay, now, this is the short-term micro picture that I showed you yesterday. It was clear that the idea here was that we are moving higher to the right. This triangle was there. It was talked about in the way 4 needs to sit here. We talked about this triangle at the end of the triangle. One of them was this pullback zone enter point. I think we did have one here. That needs to be checked again, but it's not very important right now. Not really important. I've used up all of my wave degrees, so I've used up all of my wave degrees. Let's maybe just turn this all up by 1 degree so we can do some real micro counts. It's not as important to really keep an eye on the microstructure during a third wave rise. What's more important is to keep an eye on the support levels. As I already said, support is now at 34,000. Could add something for you, but it would just be a small amount of help along the way. As of right now, it looks like we're in wave 5 of this circle. At some point, wave 3 could show off. But I talked about it yesterday on Discord and Telegram, and it might not happen until we reach 45K. I see that this is another one to set up. That could be another 1 to 3. It might be a small 4-5. It looks like this third is still being made. Oops. When you look at those micro counts again, the risk is that you try to trade the smallest waves, which is not a good idea in the third wave. Okay. But I've already said that a lot of times because you leave too early. I guess it's okay to take some of your profit. That's why I said I'm keeping a core stock and keeping the HODL portfolio whole. Okay? Fine. That way I can give you micro support. Mike, you could give it from here. No, let's explain this one. Okay, then this means that everyone is looking for a tiny support. That's 40,400. In other words, this box is worth between $42,500 and $40,000. That's right, it will be micro support. If we break below that level, it means that circle wave 4 has begun or that there will be a deeper pullback. But this soon-to-come rise can go on as long as we hold 40,400. You have a much better area to support yourself now. I'm not going to put that on the chart, but it looks like we had another one, 2 or 3. Okay, and then we should get another 4-5. This could be a small 4, then a 5. Okay, again though, that micro counting was much more helpful. It's just a track support, which is what we're doing here too. Yes, that's what I have to say about Bitcoin. I hope you liked the news. If you did, please join, hit like, and send a message. And if you enjoy the videos a lot, please check out the channel membership. Thanks for seeing it. Thanks for coming.